Hey everybody,
Hello.
That's Rick, I'm Jason. I'm Jason and that's Rick. Greg Monroe was supposed to be here today, but he couldn't make it. So one day we'll bring him in and we'll have this conversation. When we ask Greg Monroe, who would you like to be traded for? Which would be an awkward conversation because then he'd have to throw pretty much everybody he knows under the bus, and his agent would come after me. But we couldn't get him in. He's still welcome to come on to talk about anything he wants.
Aside from that.
As long as I get to call him Greg.
We'll make sure you look good.
I just want to make sure we look on a first name basis. Like,
you know, it'd be funny if
Greg's coming in.
If you had Greg Monroe and Didi Gregorius.
I'd be, well, first of all, Didi Gregorius must know at this point. Big fan of Didi Gregorius. Big fan.
Big fan.
Big fan. Big fan.
Greg Monroe.
Greg Monroe is probably going to get traded again. And there's a couple different destinations to which Greg Monroe probably should be traded. Richard over here found 3 of those likely destinations as the 76ers, the Lakers, and the
Bulls.
The Bulls. The Bulls. Involving one of them. We'll start with the most likely, which really seems like the Lakers, because the only thing up in the air is nobody in their right mind has any clue what the Suns want to do. It's like when you give, it's like giving a 5-year-old a Christmas wish list, and he's like, well, I want a Razor scooter, and I want a flying car, and I want Legos, and I want a spaceship. And you're like, well, only half of these are actually possible.
You forgot Dune Buggy.
Dune Buggy. I want to be able to like breathe underwater. You're like, what, dude? This is impressive.
Should watch Waterworld.
To be fair,
Kevin Costner.
I don't know if I've seen that movie, but
Underworld?
Underworld?
I think that's what it's called. Here are the trades. The only one that I like is the Lakers. The other 2 are fine, but again,
we just don't know what the Suns are going to do.
We don't know what the Suns want. However, this makes a lot of sense. So Phoenix would be giving up Greg Monroe, who they don't even want, and they would be getting Julius Randle and Luol Deng. The reason this works is because the Lakers just want expiring contracts. Greg Monroe is an expiring contract. I know it's a lot of money, but again, they are trying to clear room for Paul George and company this offseason. The Phoenix Suns would get somebody they could team up with Devin Booker for a long time in Julius Randle. He is 22 years old. And Luol Deng, granted his contract kind of sucks, the Phoenix Suns had him and traded him to the Bulls. Also good to have another veteran on their team.
Yes, because that team is the youngest team in the NBA, I believe, right?
The Phoenix Suns?
Yeah.
I believe so.
They're like average age of 21.5 years or some shit.
Yeah.
They can't drink.
This is a team, no, they could drink. 21.5.
I don't think half of them can.
Justin Jackson can't.
Josh Jackson,
excuse me. Justin Jackson's not the king.
By the way, there's another top 15 college basketball player named Justin Jackson, and there's a top 100 guy named Josh Jackson.
Yes.
We're so screwed.
So this is the only one that I like. Jason will go into this in a second, but to get through the other 2, the Chicago Bulls would give up Robin Lopez and Quincy Pondexter, and they would get Greg Monroe. As a Bulls fan, I like this because this is, look, I've said this so many times. I'm sounding like a broken record. I don't give a shit that the Bulls suck. They're not trying to win. They're trying to lose. So if they want to showcase Greg Monroe to enter free agency and get paid, sure, do it. I think Robin Lopez helps you that much more win games because he's a very productive big man in the NBA who knows his role, respects his space as well. And then you also give up Quincy Pondexter, who I have no idea why they signed. The last one, Philadelphia doesn't want him. The Phoenix Suns don't want him, respectively. Trade, swap big men, Jahlil Okafor for Greg Monroe, straight up. Jason.
The Lakers one makes the most sense. I just don't know what the hell the Phoenix Suns want to do. So if they could give us any kind of inkling, because not just Greg Monroe, but Phoenix Suns GM and head coach were supposed to be here too, but they also couldn't make it. It's okay. It's okay. Look, I didn't even.
You sound like Kimmel with Matt Damon.
I did, right. He was supposed to be here, but he couldn't make it. Like, I reached out. I didn't, but I did. In my head on Twitter, I thought about doing it. Now that I have 280 characters, I can fit everybody in there. So the Philadelphia one, actually, I think would be kind of interesting because the Sixers, man, the Sixers are going to be good. But at the same time, like, we don't need to rush the Sixers into being great. What we need to do is really hope that Embiid and Simmons stay very, very healthy, and that duo runs the Eastern Conference for the next, 10, 15 years. So, like, the Sixers have no reason to win now. Like, their goal really should just be to get to the playoffs and provide a fun challenge to whatever team they go up against, like a 5 or 6 game series in the first round if they could. But just getting to the playoffs would be remarkable because now Philadelphia is a free agent destination. LA, always a free agent destination. Always. Chicago, when they're good, a free agent destination.
Here's real quick.
I think the Lakers makes the most sense. I think that's the most realistic.
Yes.
Because they want to dump these contracts. It's very clear they want to dump these contracts. Magic Johnson is the great thing about Magic Johnson being a part of the Lakers right now.
He wants Paul George.
How open he is. Like it's very rare that you get like, and he's not kidding. He's not like trying to misdirect. Like saying, I want Paul George and then not go and get Paul George. No, he wants Paul George. He wants LeBron James. I don't know who wouldn't. He wants Kevin Durant. He wants all these big names to put around the team. So,
yes, absolutely.
Here's the difference between Chicago and New York fans. Like you just said, like, I don't care that they're bad. I don't care that they're bad because they're not trying to win.
I'm literally trusting the process.
The New York fans, we care so much and we get so angry when they're bad. And then when they're good, we care so much and we still get angry that they're good.
Yes. But here's the difference.
Always angry.
Here's the difference. I respect that they want to rebuild. This is a different clip. I respect that they want to rebuild. New York fans will never respect the term rebuild.
Nope.
Period.
Fuck no.
Period.
The Mecca of basketball.
Like, I'll understand.
Because why would we ever want to rebuild when we can go across the street to St. John's Prep and pick up whatever 3 guys who are 18 years old and just give them Knicks jerseys and be like, look, you're better than what we have.
This is the difference.
Take it!
This is the fundamental difference between Chicagoans and New Yorkers. Like
we're miserable.
We'll be okay giving the last cookie to a kid.
No, we don't. Fuck off with your cookies. Why would you give the cookie to a kid? What kind of charity is this? Could the kid not afford the cookie?
Do you when a foul ball is hit, do you give the foul ball to a kid?
Depends. Who hit the foul ball?
We're bending.
Who hit the foul ball? My team or their team?
It doesn't matter.
Of course it does. I throw it back.
It doesn't. It's a foul ball, not a home run.
Actually, I've caught 2 foul balls in my life. One I actually did give to a kid. The other one, the kid came down like 20 minutes later and said, "Can I have your foul ball?"
Late.
That's different. He was late. He was late. There was a kid right next to me. It was like it looked like a 5 or 6-year-old. He was wearing a David Wright jersey. I was wearing a David Wright jerseys. We were best friends. I was like, "Here you go." Like, what do I need a foul? First of all, what do I need a foul ball for? What do I need a foul ball for? I don't need a foul ball. I don't need one.
Is there a certain age that you get to when you say, "Nah, I can't bring my glove to the game anymore"?
I haven't brought a glove to a game in maybe 15 or 20 years. I was like 8 or 9 when I stopped.
I want to say.
You know why? Because you can catch it with your hat.
Harder,
but more impressive. Or your beard.
Or bear.
Or your bear. The Cavs are interested in the Greg Monroe, by the way.
Oh yeah, that was the one other one I forgot. I'm sorry.
Gregory Keith Monroe.
The only other
Moose.
Really? Keith.
I'm calling him Keith from now on.
The only other one that I could possibly think of is swapping when he's healthy Tristan Thompson for Greg Monroe.
Yeah, well, he's with the Kardashian, right?
I don't like it for either team.
Is he with the Kardashian?
Yes.
Oh,
he got Khloe pregnant.
You have to get rid of him. There's a curse. They're cursed.
And Phoenix is closer to LA.
Khloe's the coolest one. Greg Monroe was surprised by the trade that sent him to Phoenix. A lot of players are, yeah.
Not to you, to that article.
I was just trying to get healthy, get back on the floor, and help the team. Now that I'm here, I'll do the same here, and if it's somewhere else, I'll do the same there. So he already knows, like, I might not be in Phoenix for long.
I've said this so many times. The Cavs don't need big men. They need defensive wings.
They need.
That is what they need.
1987 Mark Price.
You are high free throw percentage.
He's good, man. Good passer.
You need to shore up defensively because you're going to meet the Golden State Warriors. You can't outscore them. You got to make it ugly. You got to win with defense. Getting Greg Monroe is not the answer for Cleveland, but this is a whole nother topic.
You need Andre Drummond's shoulder hair. We've talked about this. We've talked about this. By the way, Drummond's shooting like 130% from the free throw line or something.
That's impossible.
No, it's not. He's shooting like 173%. It's amazing. It's unreal. It's so amazing. It can't happen.
What's his shoulder hair? That's so terrible.
Dude, it's so bad.
I'm sorry.
It's so bad.
I'm sorry.
He's playing so well.
I feel like my Jufro is being grown on his shoulders.
If you spent another 7 years growing it out, yeah. And it got to like Kaepernick Afro status, and then you dropped it on his shoulders. That's what we're talking about, man. You could actually use that. Like when I worked in a kitchen, right? There was a specific type of sponge. It was like, it's kind of like a
bag of sand.
It's like a bag of sand. It's kind of like a metal sponge in a way. It's used to get like grit out of like an oven or a stove. You can use Andre Drummond's shoulders to clean your stovetops. It's gross, man. That hair's gross. But look, he's playing great.
Can you imagine turning Andre Drummond upside down and just using his shoulders?
Well, that's what's so amazing. Like a good Billy Mays commercial, it's one of those, it's got like an extension.
Hi.
You bring in Billy Mays here, you bring in Andre Drummond, and he's so big and long that you can just, you get to the hard to reach places.
Hey, Phil Swift here with Drummond, man.
Is that the new one? Phil Swift?
Phil Swift is the one in the canoe who... The water's completely dry, and it's like you're not even paddling.
We should probably throw the Jimmy Butler in a canoe video now.
Whatever, bro.
Which is a conspiracy, telling you they were trying to hurt him.
Indeed.
So I think we've spent too much time talking about Greg Monroe in the last 2 weeks.
I think we've spent too much time on Andre Drummond's
talking about it. No, there's no cap to that. In the comments section below, do you care more about Andre Drummond's shoulder hair and what you could use to could do with it, or Greg Monroe's potential trade rumor ability? There is obviously one correct answer.